धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शांति शांति शांतिः. Offering my humble salutations to the divine lotus feet for beloved Bhagwan. I welcome you all to today's satsang. Feel so elated after restarting my satsangs almost after 7 months. My last satsang was in December. Due to some other responsibilities, little gap has come. And I started again. So as there has been a lot of gap, I think a recap is also required. So I'll be just recapitulating on story till now, or at least the past 2 chapters. If you look at actual story is going to start now, because the narration of Bhagavatam, or the expounding Bhagavatam by Suka starts now. Till then, if you see, I mean, as I always told, Bhagwan's way of narrating things, or Bhagwan's focus on things, is quite different. His focus till now, or think most of, I mean, if you look at of the 42 chapters, we are in the 28th chapter today. And all these chapters, Bhagwan was mainly focusing on Parikshith, character of Parikshith, so that it kind of inspires us. You have to become eligible or deserving to receive that nectar of Bhagavatam into your life. So we need to build character like Parikshith. That's why Bhagwan focuses on various facets of Parikshith, his Krishna Bhakti mainly, and his virtues. As always, Swami said, the end of education is character. So build such character that automatically you're able to attract grace. That's why always Swami said, don't try to become great, try to become good. His focus is always on the inner core. Become pure, because the rest of the things follow automatically. We look at the story till now. We have seen that Parikshit is back to the palace now. He is in a pensive mood because of what had happened. It kind of looks like ironical, or some kind of contradictory, that till now Parikshit has been hailed for all the virtues, but there is a sudden twist in the story. A person of such stature, having such a rich character, how can he do such blunder? How can he, just put a snake on a Mahatma? Does it befit a king? And he was haunted. Why did I do this? Sometimes, I mean, there are no answers for such questions. Can we expect somebody, and Swami himself has hailed, Swami himself has listed all the characteristics of Parikshit, and suddenly the twist of the story that he has done this mistake. it becomes so unbelievable that a person of such a spotless character can commit such a mistake. Sometimes I feel it's completely the Jagannataka Sutradhari, as Swami is called, that designer. He is the director who directs the drama, he designs the plot and everything. Suddenly, I think something great has to come through this soul for the entire humanity. So let me twist the story. Let me make bad for some time, for a moment, so that out of this, something magnanimous would come out. So Bhagavatam should come for the entire world. That is why such a great personality was made mistake. He was made an instrument to make that mistake. Otherwise, it's totally unbelievable whether such person, such a spotless character, would make such a mistake. It's all his divine play. So he's back and he's looking for, he's in such a mood that what is it that I have done? And is there anything which can atone my sins? How can I atone my sins? He was looking for an answer. Suddenly, he comes to know that a disciple, a hermit disciple from sage Shamika's ashram has come to tell the truth that, that he has been cursed by the son of sage Shamika, Shringi. And he elucidates what all that happened, that you have been cursed. And the seventh day from today, you would be bitten by the poisonous snake, Takshaka. And he would be in tears when he narrates this. And the moment Parikshit hears this, normally people like us or somebody, we would just go speechless or some motionless, or we can't even imagine ourselves. Whereas Parikshit was in a sigh of relief. Yeah, finally, I got something, such a great relief. Somebody has given me a curse so that I can atone the sin that I have committed. He was in a great joy, actually. He was considering it to be more a kind of a blessing than a curse. That was the no the precious character he had. If you look at, and after that, immediately what he does, he just relinquishes his entire empire in the next instant. The moment he comes to know about this curse, the next moment he decides, yes, these 7 days are to concentrate, focus on the ultimate goal, ultimate reality. That is my Krishna. Rest is all to be relinquished. The immediate. So immediately he tries to find the priest, just the first priest on whom his eyes would fall upon. He would call him and he would coronate his son Janamejaya as the king. And he just leaves the kingdom. He leaves the palace. Leaves all. He would not even uh, get into the chariot or nothing. He would never use anything because he even left that attachment, even the identity of being a king. All the courtiers and everyone would be, asking for king, shall I arrange a chariot? Where are you going? He would be not listening to them. He would be completely in his own world, focusing on Krishna. He would not even answer them. It's not out of audacity. It is because he has even relinquished that I am the king, even the identity of being a king or emperor. He even left that. The moment he understood that that his time has come. That is what he left it there. I mean, it is something very amazing. If you look at the character of Parikshit, it is not that easy. The kind of, imagine ourselves. Suppose somebody says that only you have 7 days from now. What we would think of? Generally, we'll think of doing something which we haven't done till now, which we were really craving for all these days. I should do that. Probably I haven't eaten something, or I haven't been to some place. I had a lot of strong urge or desire to visit some place I haven't done. I should do it in 7 days. Or I didn't taste something which I wanted to taste all my life, but somehow I didn't taste it. Let me go there, or let me do some adventure. Something, lot of things related to the world only. Immediately, do we think that let us leave everything and relinquish everything and let's go to Parthi? That kind of feeling do we get? I think we need to question ourselves. So it is not that easy to get the feeling that Parikshit got. The immediately just relinquishing then and there and just leaving. He got it because of the Krishna bhakti he has acquired over a period of time, the yearning for Krishna, the pining for Krishna, listening to those stories of Krishna through many, scholars in his kingdom, even from the subjects of his kingdom, and from Vyasa, you have seen. So he was just enjoying. He had he didn't have even a glimpse of. He had seen Krishna when he was a baby, but he didn't have that memory. So all his memories or all everything that he started experience Krishna is only through listening to the stories right from the beginning. Just by listening to the stories, suppose if you look at Pandavas, if you remember the Pandavas episodes, even they leave the kingdom immediately the moment they come to know that Krishna has left this world, Krishna has departed. Still, we can say they had that physical proximity. They enjoyed the physical proximity of Krishna. But Parikshit didn't have any physical proximity of Krishna. He had only the spiritual presence of Krishna always because he was pining for Krishna. So it is like, no, again, Bhagwan is telling us it is up to you to feel my presence. It is not that you should see me. No, it is not mandatory that you should have had the physical darshan of my physical form, darshan of my physical form. It is not mandatory. Still, you can make yourself feel my presence if you have that love, if you have that pining for me. Bhagwan always said one thing. Once one student was holding Bhagwan's hand while he was moving, giving darshan in Kodai. We can get to see many videos also. Bhagwan used to hold hands of some boys while he used to walk. And some of them were so, other students were kind of uh, discussing among themselves, how lucky the guy is holding hand of Swami. Swami knew their hearts, what is going on in their minds. He says that all of you are thinking that how lucky is this fellow because he's holding my hand. Then Swami said, holding my hand is not that important. Pining to hold my hand is important. That pining will take you to the greater heights, not just holding. That that person might have forgotten also. People who had wonderful physical proximity might have forgotten all those episodes, must have been wallowing in some other pleasures today. We never know. But there could have been somebody who might not have seen him, but still are able to feel his presence every moment. So that is more important. And that's how Parikshit is inspiring all of us that you can achieve, you can feel You can create the spiritual presence of Lord within you, even though you might not have had his darshan, or even today you miss his physical form, still you can. Just remember, even for those who have had that wonderful physical form in front of us, just even by those memories also will make our day. Just think, oh, Swami smiled at me that day. He spoke to me that day. Even if you think of our dreams for that matter. So this is the inspiration that we get from Parikshit. And yes, as I just now told, can we get the detachment that he had immediately relinquishing? No, that is not easily possible because he had that bhakti for Krishna. So that is why we should start listening to the stories of God daily, just like we take pills daily, no, for our ailments. The same way, we need to keep listening stories of God daily as a part of life. Slowly, just like some kind of analgesic, some kind of antidote, some kind of medicine, it will go inside, and we never know what kind of medicinal effects it has got. It can itself diagnose different ailments within us. It can itself cure. That is why we need to read, or we need to enjoy or experience these stories much more than Parikshit. Parikshit is still lucky. He just have to listen these stories for 7 days because he has got exactly 7 days. But we don't have that fortune any moment. So to get the detachment, even if somebody says, okay, you also have 7 days, still we may not be like Parikshit. Immediately we cannot leave things and go. I mean, we can question ourselves. Will be our state of mind if someone says so? So to get the detachment, as I always say, how to get detachment? Should we practice something? Swami always said, no, get attached to the one who is detached. So he is the only one who is detached from everything. He is beyond everything. He is detached from everything. So we should get attached to him. Automatically, the detachment comes. And detachment doesn't mean, again, we should again think detachment is not a derogatory term. Detachment is a kind of awareness that this is not a permanent thing, or a kind of, say, I would say, it is a role that I'm playing. Where actors are aware of the roles, right? Whenever they play in a movie, they're very much aware. They would be given palatial homes, wonderful palaces to live in, and they may act elated, but is that elation real? And or they may lose somebody in their relationship in the movie, and that they also act there as if they are in deep grief. But are they really sad? No, because they're aware that they are actors. So also we should become aware that this is just a drama, the short drama. In his divine play, we are playing. And just remember that we are just only have to play the part. After that, again, we have to just go back. Once that awareness comes, and do your duty with that awareness. That's it. We need not leave dispassionately, leave everything and go and settle somewhere. No, that is not a detachment. We have to continue our duties. We have to play the role as long as finally director says pack up. Till then, we have to continue our role with full devotion, with 100%. They say no. We should give to our role, whatever the role we are in. Of course, within the our role itself, we have many other roles to play. So we have to do justification for each and every role. We may be a parent, we may be a brother, we may be a sister, we may be a spouse. There are different roles we play, and even at office we are in different roles. So we have to justify every role with awareness that ultimately he is the director, he is the doer, and once he says pack up, I need to go. It is all just that awareness. So that awareness which has Parikshit has got. So Parikshit now he goes to the bank, the bank of Ganges. That's when The entire kingdom is around him, the entire empire, like all sages, the great scholars, and even subjects, because no one knew what had happened. All rumors were flying around that it would have happened. It seems somebody came and some curse was being given. No one knew the actual truth, and everyone was trying to ask the king, and he was not responding to anyone. Finally, some sage who was following him and who could not, you know, keep pace with Parikshit, he finally just pleads, "King, oh king, please tell what had happened." The king then explains to all the sages, all the one around what had happened. And he even says, he kind of says objectively. He doesn't even say that, he doesn't victimize himself also. No, I'm a victim of so and so, or this is not a mistake at all. He kind of colors it or picturizes it very objectively, because the same mistake, if it is done by a common man, the punishment need not be this. But because it has been done by an emperor, automatically that act, it the punishment also gets amplified. So if I really think of it, it is a blessing in disguise. It is looking like a curse, but ultimately it's a blessing. I'm very much aware that I have these 7 days and I have time to do what are the things to be done. So it is a blessing. So all this while I was wallowing in these pleasures. Finally, a wake up call. Oh, this kind of curse has come as like a wake up call to me, to remind me this is your actual goal. Focus on it. And lot of sages, I mean, they were also like, some were telling ignore, it would not have been true. Someone, it looks like some ignorant person has given the curse. I mean, the act is not so severe that you need to be cursed. A lot of, comments were coming from all the sages. And Parikshit was in joy. He was, no, no, no. Whatever that has happened for the good. It's a blessing for me. Finally, everyone understood the fortitude, the purity of the king. And finally, he asked one question to everyone. And this question is not just pertinent. If you look at this question, is not pertinent only to Parikshit, it's pertinent to all of us. He questions, he says, what is it that someone who is sure to die, whose death is sure, how can he sanctify the time? What he has to do? That's the question he puts to all the sages. Different people give different answers, different sages give different answers. Some say you should do yoga, some say you should do tapa, some say you should do namasmarana, some say you should try to get jnana. So jnana in 7 days. Some say you should do good deeds, good karma in these 7 days. So different, and nothing would actually satiate the thirst or would not satisfy Parikshit. He would be looking for some answer. What is it that happened? And that's when comes the actual, very interesting, a very effulgent character. That's when they observe a very 16-year-old young boy walking into the amongst them. Something he was pushing away all those sages because a lot of sages were all around. So he was trying to make himself the way. And he went all the way and he sat on the throne that was placed for the king there. Everyone was like little, no, they were looking with awe and wonder. At the same time, he doesn't look like a normal human being. He was like a celestial being, some divine being with different radiance, different effulgence all over him, some different aura all over him. And he's looking so young and charming, 16-year-old boy. And he was looking like people were thinking some of them, he must have been a hermit son, no? Some kind of Muni Kumara. He could have been one of the Muni Kumaras. And who is this man? I mean, looks wise, he looks like Muni Kumara, but look at his majesty. No, directly he went and sat on the throne of a king. He is not an ordinary person. Definitely, he's not an ordinary person. That's how many people were kind of judging him, kind of trying to find what who the person was. Ultimately, one old sage amongst them finally recognizes he was not just a Muni Kumara. He was no, he's a Brahmagnani himself, who's the son of Vyasa, Shuka. So the moment, because everyone had heard of Shuka, what he was a Brahmagnani who had tasted the ultimate. For him, everything was Brahman. The moment by birth, he was Brahman, Brahmagnani, because everything he could see as a that Atmic principle, that Brahman. When he would be born and all the way walking, sage Vyasa also would be following him once. And suddenly Apsaras would be taking bath that time in the pond. And when Shuka, who is a young man of 16, 17, when he comes across, they would be taking bath, continue. They would continue. They would just offer their pranams and they would continue taking baths. But the moment they realized that Vyasa was coming, suddenly try to clad themselves up. Immediately, Vyasa asks, "What is it? No, I'm an old man. There is my son, young boy, and when he crossed you, you were not bothered at all. No, you were not perturbed, and you just offered your salutations. And but when I'm an old man and you're trying to cover yourself, what is it?" They say, "See, he's your son, Shuka. He doesn't make any difference between a tree and ourselves or an insect. Everything is one for him. But you didn't have that distinction. You have that no difference. You know the differences. But he doesn't know any difference. He can see only Brahman everywhere. That is why you're not bothered, because he only can see the same Brahman in us also, whether we are clad or whether we're not." That was the greatness of the Brahma, no? That Shuka, Brahmagnani Shuka. So such Shuka has come amongst the king and all other sages. And the joy of Parikshit has no leaps and bounds. It was on cloud nine. How can I even thank God for what all that is happening in my life now? So Sage Shuka would not stay in a place even for few minutes, because he was Brahmagnani. He would think that even if I stay in some time, I may be attached to the thing, because that is the Maya. That's why he would never stay in a place for other than few minutes. And that person has come all the way and he's spending time here, decided to spend time here. What a great fortune. And that's where this Parikshit goes and salutes to him. Definitely, it is not my punya, the punya of my grandfathers, that soul like you have come all the way from. Shuka, kind of places his hand, caressing his head like a mother. You're a Dharmatma. Your epitome of virtues. Is there any virtue that you don't have? Above that, you're a great devotee of Krishna. What else? What more qualifications do you require? So that is the power of your character, the magnanimity of character that brought even all these sages around and even myself. Even then, no, Parikshit again says, if I was Dharmatma, I wouldn't have done that mistake. Definitely it is the punya, definitely it is know, the after effects of the karma of my grandfathers and my forefathers, Pandavas, that is showing its colors now, that is gracing it now through like this. And one beautiful thing he says, what Shuka says, see, everyone has their own baggage. So all these relations which we have materially or in our world is just like, as we said, it's a movie. They have their own. All of us are like, no, for a sometime like in a guest house, we are meeting. After some time, we have our own journeys. So each one of us have our own journey. That awareness we all should have. Perspective of whatever relations we may have. We may have children, we may have spouse, we may have brothers, sisters. But at the end of the day, all are different actors playing, and we are a guest house like this. And everyone has come with their own baggage. We have our own luggage, right? Whenever we travel, we have our own luggage. Today, I mean, how much luggage is there? Even flights also kind of charge extra that much luggage we carry. Even than the permissible limits, we carry more. So it's not that we are born with that luggage. Actually, we come into this life also because we are also traveling. So we have already come. That's what Swami says. No, that karma, what the baggage of karma, the prapti, we say, whatever we are supposed to undergo this karma. So we have come with that baggage already. So everyone has their own karma. Everyone has own their prapti. This Shuka. So the moment they leave the body, they are not related to you. Cannot even say that they are my so and all. Okay, that is fine. But now they are not there. That relation itself is not there. That role has ended. They have already, left that costume. They removed that makeup. You cannot call. Somebody must have been a grandfather in your movie. I cannot go and claim his property because he's my grandfather in the movie. Because that relation is over. The makeup is over. The relationship is over. He's no longer a grandfather. The same way. So it is your own karma, your own bhagya that has brought everyone here. And now it is immaterial. Whether it is your own, one more important thing he says, it is immaterial now at this point. You have to think what to do now. It is immaterial whether it is the result of your bhagya or your grandfather's bhagya or forefather's bhagya. That is not at all concerned now. That is immaterial completely. Only thing you have to be concerned is what is it that I have to do now? What is the task in hand? So then he kind of questions, he places the same question which had already put to other sages. What is it that I have to do? What is it the person who is sure of his death, sure to die should do? How can he sanctify his time? So that's when Shuka recognizes this is not the question that is coming. It is coming through you, but it is not coming from you. Because he understands the entire, the divine play of the Lord. So this is the question to be put by each and every being that is sure to die. Each and every person who's sure to die, but all of us. So you have become just an instrument for that question. So now I understand what God wants me to do. So then he says, there's nothing greater than the story of the Lord. That is how we have to sanctify the time. Then he kind of gives an analogy, kind of metaphor. Say, His body is like a boat. The Lord is a boatman, and the rudder which he rows this boat, that is Lord's story, the glory of the Lord. And this ocean is this samsara. So one should listen to the stories of the Lord. Listening to the stories is like not just like listening any other story. Slowly that story should seep into our inner core. And at the end of the day, it should be like we should start feeling. Once we start feeling Swami in every uh, aspect of ourselves, even our story becomes Bhagavatam. There would be the thin line between our story and his story. It kind of gets erased. Everything becomes his story. That is what we have to grow up to. It's not just listening to stories means, yeah, some we allot a time and listen. Yes, definitely that is the sadhana we should start with. That we should listen to stories and slowly we should start let them seep into our own inner core. That's why always Swami focuses on Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. Try to contemplate what is being heard. No, everything slowly, slowly. Many things we may not understand in one go. For that matter, Bhagavatam cannot be understood at all with if you think rational with a rational mind and with our own logic and all. These kind of become impediments. These kind of become obstacles in this path. Only thing Bhagavatam has to be understood is by total surrender and bhakti. That's it. That's the only way we can understand Bhagavatam. Otherwise, it's not that easy to understand Lord's ways. Because many things are beyond our ken. Oh, this could, how can this happen? How can so there are many such things that would come. Bhagavan even brings out that point in this chapter. So that is how you have to sanctify your life. That is why you have to sanctify the time. For that matter, all of us have 7 days. I have been telling in previous satsangs also, not only Parikshit, we all have 7 days. We all have the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 7 days. We don't have any eighth day for us, especially. I'm so and so. That's why I want one more day, special day, because I have these many achievements in my bag. No, we only have 7 days like Parikshit. Parikshit is lucky enough, he has exactly 7 days. We don't know. So we need Bhagavatam more. We need to listen to it more. We need to contemplate on it more. We need to try to assimilate it more and implement whatever possible it more, so that the thin line between his story and our story becomes one. No, finally, that is erased, and ultimately, it is entire thing is his story only. Then Suka starts narrating. So Bhagavata is like a tree. This is the actually today's chapter. It is like a divine tree, a celestial tree. And the seed of this tree is, and all the auspiciousness, all the joys, everything is there in this tree. If you look at the timing when Bhagavata has come into the world, also, it says that exactly when Kali has come, if you look at the earlier episodes, if you remember, Kali is trying to come, he's trying to thrive. Parikshit, in spite of his having all the prowess, all the acumen, all the power to kill Kali, he would leave Kali because he finds certain important characters in Kali that would help mankind to grow spiritually easily, much easier than other yugas. It is through Namasmarana. And one more special peculiar quality of Kali Yuga is even if you do little good, it is going to magnify and come. Sometimes the greatest quality they say is sometimes if you have a very pure thought and it didn't translate into action, they would consider it as it has been done into your account. That is the power of Kali Yuga. So, in other words, they're telling getting good thoughts is also not easy in Kali Yuga. So he says, if you have a pure thought and probably it couldn't translate into action, maybe I wanted to do seva or I wanted to do for various reasons. No, I couldn't. translate that into action. It is considered, but that doesn't mean that just think and leave it there. If you have all the other faculties around, yeah, try to translate it to action. But by any chance, if it didn't happen, it is considered as it has been done, that it is good under your thumb. And the same thing won't hold good for the bad. Bad thoughts are more right. If at all, I think if they are also considered as the deeds that have been done, probably we would never be even attaining liberation at any point of time. So that law didn't hold good for that, only for good thoughts. So at least that concession we all got. This is a special qualities Kali Yuga has got. So that is why Parikshit spares Kali at one point of time. Okay, go. I mean, because I see a lot of spiritual growth of people in Kali Yuga easily. They can attain liberation easily, if at all they can really, if they can focus on their sadhana. So he describes, Shuka describes Bhagavatam as a beautiful celestial tree. And the seed of the tree, the source is Narayana. Source is always the God, right? What is that supporting all the beings is that the principle of Atma, that Paramatma, who is there within all of us. So he is the source, he is the path, he is the goal. And from Narayana, if you see Narayana name also, Nara Mulu, Naras means both inanimate and animate objects are called Naras. Ayana is one who supports the Naras. That's why he's called Narayana. One who supports the Naras, one who supports the animate and inanimate is Narayana. So he is the one who is the source, and from him came Brahma. So Brahma is the sprout. When the seed is Narayana, sprout is Brahma, and the trunk for this Bhagavatam, because Bhagavatam's inspiration, if you look at who has inspired Vyasa to write Bhagavatam, because Vyasa by then he has finished 17 Puranas, he has finished Mahabharata, he has finished everything. But still he was not satisfied. There was a lot of, in kind of, you could say, negative vibes around him. He was a lot of void he was feeling inside him, in spite of doing all this great works, all these great intellectual works. That's when Narada inspires him to write Bhagavatam. So it is the inspiration. So Narada becomes trunk. Narada says, see, all this while when you are writing Mahabharata, when you were writing about Duryodhana, you became Duryodhana. When you were writing about Dharmaraja, you became Dharmaraja. Even when you were writing about Dushasana, you became Dushasana. When you were writing about Chakuni. So there was a kind of mixture. Sometimes you were positive, sometimes you were negative. And the effect of negative vibes is also there, right? Of course, Krishna was coming once in a while there, not like it's entirely about Krishna. Krishna comes. So for that moment, you become Krishna also. But there is still that negativity within, because you have become some other negative characters also. So that's why the negativity is also there. So you have to now focus only on the Lord, only on the pastimes of the Lord, only on the nectarine tales of the Lord. And that's when you can, kind of fill that void. You can nullify all that negative vibes that have formed inside you. That's why he inspires Vyasa. And Swami nicely describes through Shuka that the branches of the Bhagavatam are Vyasa, because he is the one who has spread. And the sweetest fruit that you get from Bhagavatam is the Krishna Kathamrita, the Krishna story, the wonderful pastimes of the Lord. So the tree, beautiful fruits, taste fruits. And my interpretation, I added here this little parrot here, because Shuka is a parrot-headed sage. He's a parrot because he's considered to be, there are various stories which kind of depict him like a parrot because his birth is a parrot. They even say that he has been a pet parrot of Radha Krishna Radha. So he has been pet parrot, and that is how he listens to Bhagavatam. And that's why always Shuka, whenever he used to say Radha of Ra, just by telling Ra, he would go into trance. He would be lost. So there are various stories which depict him as a parrot. So that's why my interpretation was like, this is the parrot that has pecked that fruit of Krishna, Kadhamrita, that Amrita. It has pecked it, it has tasted it, it has experienced it. And that is now sharing it with all of us. Sharing with Parikshith that is brought to the world. So Suka says to all the sages, and here he says, whoever is craving for this fruit, whoever is from Janma after Janma, ignoring all the difficulties. Yeah, we have a lot of difficulties in life. It is not that it is each one's life is a cakewalk, but ignoring all this, keeping them aside, all that they are facing, still who craves for this nectar, they are nothing but yogis and rishis. So doing penance, that itself is a penance here. So doing penance may not make you a yogi or rishi, but craving for the Lord's story, craving for these nectarine tales, just completely ignoring all the difficulties that we face in life, just keeping them aside. And who I want to relish these fruits of Krishna Katha, we are yogis. I mean, those people become yogis, says Shuka. And now he kind of addresses all the munis and all these sages that, so I'm going to give you something tastier than the tastiest, the mightier than the mightiest, and the moment which taps, all the bliss, all the love is within you, and just this is going to tap that ocean of love within you that is going to bring out the joy that is already there within you. So that is nothing but the Krishna Katha, the Sai Katha, Sai Krishna Katha. Even if you see wonderful tales, when we listen to wonderful anecdotes of Swami, wonderful episodes of lives of devotees of Swami, it kind of makes our day and we'll be in a different mood altogether. Because that is the power of the Lord's story. That's what Swami says, that supreme, infinite, and manifest Lord, who doesn't have any form, the formless, he takes a form. Out of love, he takes a form. And he kind of shows pastimes, kind of displays a lot of leelas for all of us to redeem our lives. Why he comes always the avatar? You see, because we are too much into acting that we forgot that we are actors. We are too much into the role. So somewhere the director has come and remind us, oh, this is just acting. So this is what your next dialogue is. Suppose even if you look at the shooting also, no, the director comes in between, he kind of explains the next scene, he kind of narrates the next scene, and he tries to explain them, this is the expression you have to show, and this much expression you have to show. And like that, he kind of explains each and every actor. So also Avatar is like that, a director, and who also becomes part of the play. He also becomes an actor, and who reminds us, a man, this is acting, but act well. And he kinds of guides us. That is when we slowly, get that awareness back. That is why Avatar comes all the way for our, it's just our the love. The very avatar, the very concept of avatar is nothing but the grace, nothing but the compassion for all of us. Oh, these people have forgotten totally who they are. I need to remind them. So he comes down as the great director. So that supreme unmanifest. Till then, he's behind the curtains. He takes a form. And comes. He also wake up and comes in between us to remind us that this is just an acting. Have that awareness. And then he beautifully describes, here Shuka describes that the one who sings this glory of Lord, one who listens to this glory of Lord, one who enjoys, he is nothing but, he is called Bhagavata, or he is the Bhakta. He is the one. So again, I said, listening just doesn't mean just listening and leaving it there. It should seep into us and it should translate into action. Once again, Bhagavan reiterates in this chapter what he has told in his first chapter, that avatar, the purpose of the avatar, the main purpose of the avatar is the bhakta himself. The reason why God comes down is only for bhakta, only for devotees. All other or all other purposes are secondary, he says. So Bhagavatam is something like a bond between the God and the devotee. It kind of promotes love for devotee. Just like cow gives milk, no? The milk comes for calf, right? But others, we also you drink it, we use it for various purposes. But the purpose with which it has come is for the calf. The same way, the purpose for which Lord has come is only for the devotee, is only for uplifting the devotee. All other purposes are secondary. You see, paritranaya sadhunam vinachayesha dushkritam dharma samsthapanadhaya sambhavami yuge yuge. If you see, paritranaya sadhunam, the first thing is to protect the virtue, protect the good, the devotees, basically, who have installed in him in his hearts, in their hearts. And vinachayesha cha dushkritam. Cha dushkritam, it kind of implies that also to kill. That become a kind of secondary also. This is not the primary, that is also a duty. But the primary duty is to protect the good, to foster the devotees, to foster the love for devotees. If you look at, if you see one avatar, I mean, one yuga after yuga, we have avatars. We have Rama in Treta Yuga, we have Krishna in Dwapara Yuga, we have Swami in this yuga, and all that. You see, dharma is actually deteriorating from yuga to yuga. They say dharma is in used to be four, on 4 steps during Kruta Yuga and during Treta Yuga. It has lost one step when Rama came. And after Rama came, when Krishna had come, it is only on 2 steps and now only on 1 step. Only one leg. So actually, dharma is deteriorating if you look at. But what is actually growing is the love for God. Rama, we never know when that the story of Rama had happened, but the love for Rama today is quite evident among the people. The love for Krishna today is quite evident among the people. So it is to foster that love. Bhagavan comes again and again. And that is how we should know, by fostering that love for the Lord and knowing the truth. That is actual dharma. And dharma samstap. Then he'll teach us. These are the things. This is how you need to live. You look at Swami's discourses. Is there anything that he didn't touch? He started with basics. He started like how to brush your teeth. One of the discourse I was listening, he was telling, this is how I do daily. You need to brush like this. You need to eat like this. He gave right from the basic things, how you should conduct yourself, how should you dress yourself. Even Geeta auntie was once telling, Srimati Geeta Mohan Ram, when she went to one of the talks, even she says that I still remember that sari that she wore was a blue cotton sari that was quite, because of the cotton sari, it was quite wrinkled. And she gave a talk that time. She went and she gave a talk and she was back. After a few months or maybe a year later, when she was in Parthi, Swami told, what do you wear during the talks? How can you wear that blue cotton sari? I was the one who was looking at you. So wrinkled it is. So someone who comes to give a talk on God, how they should come, how should presentable you should come. Coming in a wrinkled cotton sari, cotton sari itself gives a lot of wrinkles. It looks like more casual look, as if you have come very casually. You don't have any seriousness. You don't have any, that seriousness of the purpose is not there. I have been watching you through the photo. That's what Swami told. And so she always remembers, no? Because after the Swami has commented, she says, I always remember I have kept that sari safe, blue cotton sari. So Swami kind of, finds each and every small thing, how presentable we should look, what is the decorum we should maintain, dress sense. So what not? Each and every small thing Swami has explained us. That's why that is the beauty of Avatar. He is coming for devotees means he would be correct from right from the basics. And again he says one beautiful thing here. Here you see many negative characters also in Bhagavatam. It is not that only Krishna and we see Pandavas or all that we have Kamsa also. We have other many demons also come. We have Shakuni, we have Duryodhana, a lot of people also come, right? And other demons also come in Bhagavatam also, either Mahabharatam or Bhagavatam also. He says we need to consider that as suppose if a sugar cane is there, to get that pure sugarcane juice, that has to be crushed, and that fiber is there. The fiber has to be thrown. It's called bagas. That bagas has to be thrown away. But without that bagas, you cannot get the juice. It is like this. So we also have in our life many negative characters of so-called, we label them as negative because they are not so, maybe they are putting obstacles in our lives or maybe creating some troubles or maybe they, of course, that is their role in our life, given by Swami again. So Swami says, yes, you will find such characters in your life. In your Bhagavatam also, you will find such characters. Consider them that as a fiber. And without that fiber, you cannot get that essence. So to get that essence, to feel Swami more, maybe the presence of such people is required in our lives also. So also Swami says in Bhagavatam also, all such people are there, but that doesn't make Bhagavatam unholy. Presence of such characters doesn't make unholy. If you look at actually, if it is his divine play, there are various characters he has given. Some get positive characters, some get negative characters. At the end of the day, if we consider that way, we don't even develop any hatred towards any negative character. Even if we read Ramayana, we think about Ravana, and when we talk about other like Kamsa and all, we don't develop that much hatred towards them. Suppose you're watching a movie and suddenly we watch some villain, we get too much into the involved in that. We try to feel like hitting the villain sometimes because we develop that hatred. And many times, even the actors also keep telling, "No, someone has come and chided me. Someone has given me left and right," because they started identifying myself, my character with me. That's why they started, even someone tried to beat me. We even get to listen these kind of, things from actors because the person has connected with him and he developed a kind of hatred for that character, and that's why he was showing all that. The same way, but here if we remember, because he's Krishna is aware, he is available, and Rama is there in front, we are aware that these are all characters that has been assigned by him and they're playing, and we don't develop any kind of negative role or any negative vibes towards them, or we don't kind of develop any hatred towards them. It is a fiber that has to be discarded. That's it. Once you get the essence from the life, once you essence, which is nothing but God, that is what we need to experience. Once we get the juice, just that bagas or that kind of fiber is to just be ignored completely. The same way in our life also, or in everywhere also, they are just playing their character. They have some purpose, probably to bring out more essence or to bring us more tastier juice. It has to be crushed and discarded. So that is the beautiful thing about how Bhagwan talks about the so-called negative characters in Bhagavatam as well as in our own Bhagavatam also. And then Bhagwan tells about listening to all these avatars is nothing but. And then Swami talks about, or through Shuka, he talks about that there are three main functions of the Lord. As a Brahma, he creates the universe, he safeguards this universe like a Vishnu, and he finally destroys it as Shiva. And ultimately, all three are one. He says it is not that one is superior to the other or one is inferior to the other. It is just in one costume. It is the same Lord. It is the same Paramatma, same Brahman, same consciousness that is doing all these things in different forms. As a Brahma, in that makeup, in that costume, he would create the universe. In the costume of Vishnu, in the costume of Narayana, he would support, he would sustain this world. And as Shiva, he would destruct. Otherwise, as a principle, they are one and the same. We need not fight. We kind of start fighting that someone is superior and someone is inferior. There is nothing like that, Bhagavan says in this. It is just only the difference in the duty. That's it. And a lot of things, if you look at in Bhagavatam, I mean, unless otherwise, as I told earlier also, unless otherwise we surrender completely and with love, we can never understand many things because this is Purana. This is not a itihasa like Mahabharata where you can chronologically you can go back and locate its occurrence or locate in time. It has happened in so and so. The stories that we come across in Bhagavata, some stories could have happened in different age of time. Again, we will talk about ages now. What are the different ages which Bhagavan tells in this? And also different realms, I would say. It would have happened in my experience. Suppose Swami tells something, Swami gave a beautiful experience to me or beautiful darshan to me in my dream. Is it not true? Swami always said, if I come in your dream, it is always true. But can we prove it like to the physical world? But that is our experience, which is true. So there are many such stories which are experiences of the devotees in different realms we find in Bhagavatam. So that is why it is Punarabhinavam Puranam. So Puranam is always new. It is always new because you cannot go back and locate it in time. It would have happened or it would not have even happened as far as physical realm, like physical world, that so-called physical world which we think we are. It would not have happened in that realm. It would have happened somewhere like just like in somebody's dream or somebody's experience. But it is true again. For Lord, it is not. For Lord, everything is same, right? Whether it is physical or whether it is your dream or whether it is in another realm, He is one. He is there in everything. So for Him, there is nothing like time and space. It is more insignificant. Time and space are more. We are more concerned about time and space, but God is not that concerned about things. Bhagwan many times he used to say, no, Rama told this way, and again, he used to change in other discourse. Rama told the same situation, Rama told this way. And students used to get confused. What is this? The same Rama was Swami told earlier a different way. And next he's telling another way. What is this? Because Ramayana happened in many cycles, right? It's not just once. It happened every cycle. Didn't just happen only once. It is happening from ages. So every time there must be some differences, and everything is truth. So it is very tough to understand all these things. All these avatars, and all it is a kind of first of all, we even question why he is doing all this. What is all this generation? What is this protecting, and what is this destruction? Isn't it? So Brother Arvind nicely shares one beautiful incident which had happened in his life, which that moment he was thinking some kind of he couldn't get, but later he said it was a kind of a revelation to me. So he was there sitting on a beach, and there was a kid who was playing with the sand and making sand castles, and he made some fort that castle with that sand castle, beautiful castle, and around that castle he made a kind of embankment so that the waves, the tides that would come, the water would come, it should not destroy the so-called fort. So he made the kind of embankment. So for that child, when he was making all those sand castles, they may not be perfect for us to look at, but for that child, it is perfect. Everything is perfect. As Swami says, no, there's nothing imperfect in my world. It is only imperfect is your drishti. In my srishti, there is no imperfection at all. Only the way you look at it is imperfect. Always Swami says. So for that child, whatever he creates is perfect. And he was even trying to protect whatever he has made, the so-called fort or whatever that he has made with that sand. He's trying to make some wall kind of thing or embankment kind of thing to protect from water. And finally, he saw the child afterwards, when he realized that water is coming and he cannot protect anymore. He jumped on that and he completely trampled and he just completely destroyed whatever that he had built. In a frenzy, everything he has done. And finally, he says, while he was building, he was happy. While he was protecting, he was happy. He was making that embankment, he was happy. And even while destructing, while he was jumping all that and trampling and destructing that sand castle, also he was happy. And some kind of revelation came inside. This is what Swami also does, God also does. No, he creates for his own joy. He tries to protect, that is also joyfully. And he finally destroys also. That is also joy. Everything is part of this play. Ultimately, what is it? His Ananda. What is there is only his Ananda. God is also like the divine child who is playing in a sense of time. So to understand why this is all happening, why all this creation, why the sustenance, why all the avatars, why these actions and all, with this limited understanding and limited logic we have, it is very tough to understand that. Only we have to experience over a period of time as we grow, we will come to know all those things within. We try to experience within. Otherwise, with all the limited senses and limited intelligence we have, it is very tough to fathom the truth, why God is doing all this. And then Bhagavan talks about all the avatars. So this Bhagavatam is all about avatars. So it's not just about only Vishnu or something. It is about avatar. As Swami said, there's no difference basically between Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. It is only in the costume it's a difference. Otherwise, principle wise, they're same. So basically, Bhagavatam talks about God. We need to understand that it doesn't talk about only just that avatars means only the Vishnu. It talks about Bhagavatam is all about Bhagavatam means it is related to Bhagavan. As Swami says, Bhagavatam Vinte Bhagavatam. We become better. We become kind of focused more towards the actual reality than what is impermanent. We try to focus more on the permanent than the impermanent. That is what Bhagavatam makes us. And then Swami talks about the Brahma, how Brahma created the Prajapatis to populate the world, and he created the Manu. Manu is the first. If you look at the age, they say we have 4 yugas. We have Kali Yuga. If you look at the cycle of yugas, Krita Yuga or Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga has 4,32,000 years, and twice Kali Yuga is the age of Dwapar Yuga. Thrice Kali Yuga is the age of Treta Yuga, and 4 times the Kali Yuga, the age of Kali Yuga is Krita Yuga. So this 4 yugas is one cycle, and one that is called Mahayuga. One cycle of these 4 yugas is Mahayuga, and 71 such cycles of these Mahayugas become one Manvantara. That's called one Manvantara, and 14 such Manvantara becomes one Kalpa. So one Kalpa is for one day for Brahma. So he also sleeps when his day is over, that Kalpa is over. That means 14 Manvantaras are over, which is 14 into 71 cycles of these yugas. So his day is let. So if you calculate that, so this becomes so much, what is this we are talking? I'm talking in any sense. That is what happens, in Bhagavatam. You just have to listen. Don't think too much about it. Just to assimilate. So that is the time. So that is and each Manvantara has some designated king designed by or designated by Brahma called Manu. That's why for the reign of Manvantara, even the current Manvantara we are another is Vaivashvata Manvantara. So he is one Manu. And he was the Manu that time when even Matsya Avatar came also. So he was the one who would be offering his ablutions in the morning in water. And that's when he finds a small fish in his hand. The small fish asks him, please protect me. Please protect me. That's when he he puts that little fish in his kamandlu. He carries that kamandlu and he goes and he puts, because this fish is growing. So he finds that that kamandlu becomes kind of small to the fish. It's outgrowing. So he kind of puts in a bigger container. And that container would not be sufficient. He would take and put it in a pond. Pond would not be sufficient. He would go and put it in river. He would keep changing rivers based on their sizes. Even then, it would not be sufficient. Finally, he would go and put in the ocean. Even then, it would grow. And that's when he comes to understand that none other than the Lord himself was come in the form to protect. And that is when the fish says that we know this concept of deluge, the pralaya. If all this is after over, there will be one pralaya. There is one time where everything is destroyed. As we told, no, destruction is also part of the nature. So there is a time where everything is destroyed, everything is dissolved. And finally, again, he will be starting creating all this. So there is a period that, so to protect that from that, so the fish, the so-called Matsya, tells this Manu to collect all the different beings, all different species. And I'm going to give you a big ship. You put it in the ship, and I will help you to row this ship so that all these are saved from that pralaya, and again a new creation can be done. That is how Matsya Avatar comes, and Matsya Avatar even brings out the Vedas from a demon called Hayagriva. All that happens. So much of the stories we don't talk about Matsya Avatar. So even Swami says, even we are all avatars, because Swami said, no, I divided myself into myself to love myself. So all of us are avatars only. Then Swami says, don't concentrate on these avatars. Only Yuga-avatar story is Bhagavad. Only Yuga-avatar story you're supposed to concentrate. Don't concentrate on. We are more interested in many others, these avatar stories, right? Our other avatars are there. So more interested in our neighbor story or some other stories. We are more interested in these gossips and stories. But Swami says, in a nice way, all of your avatars, I accept that because you're part of me. You're all sparks of divinity. So, but that doesn't make that your stories become, Bhagavatam or something for person to do Parayanam. Your story is not that great. It is a full of despair and despondency only. At the end of the day, unless otherwise you focus on me and you traverse in that path, then our story becomes, as I told, our story becomes Bhagavatam when we traverse in that path. Otherwise, it is just a story of nonsense, right? So, but we are more interested in the stories of these avatars. So, not these avatars. So, we need to concentrate on the real avatar, the story of the Swami Yuga-avatar. Only that is the story we need to concentrate on. That is the real Bhagavatam we need to concentrate on. So as I said, there are various realms here. Bhagavan talks about what is true, what is not true, what is true for God. We all don't understand. And if you remember earlier in one of my satsangs, I talked about Pusalar story. But Pusalar was a Nayanar. So we have 63 Nayanars in Shaivite tradition who are the cream of devotees. So Pusalar Nayanar was one of that who used to live near Kanchipuram. Why I'm telling this story is to understand, for God, there's nothing called a realm. For him, there's nothing called time and space where it has happened. For him, it is truth, is truth. That's it. Everything is true. For us, it is the physical realm and other realms and all. But for God, everything is to tell that point. This Pusalar was a Brahmin. So there was that time, that particular area was being ruled by a king known as Adavarkon. He was a great Shiva Bhakta, and he had built a wonderful temple. And one day he has decided a muhurta for Kumbhabhishekam, installing the Lord and Abhishekam of the Lord. And he kind of making all the arrangements, getting all the paraphernalia for that. And he went for a sleep. Finally, in that night, Shiva comes in his dream. So is everything ready? All the arrangements have been done. You have invited everybody. Yeah, everybody have invited. They all so and so all coming. Everything he says. And finally, Shiva says, "I'll not be able to make it. Please don't feel other way. Don't feel otherwise. I'll not be able to make it." What is that? Why you're not able to make it? It's the same muhurtam I have to attend Kumbhabhishekam at some other temple. Mother temple in my kingdom is there anybody who has built such a big temple? Then he says, yeah, there is a person called Pusalar. He has built a wonderful temple for me. And the same muhurtam, the day after tomorrow, that muhurtam you have said, the same muhurtam he has decided for Kumbhabhishekam. So I'll be going there. I have to attend that. That's very important for me. So please don't think otherwise. I'll not be able to come to this your ceremony, your Kumbhabhishek. That kind of, I mean, when he gets up in the morning, that kind of becomes what is happening. So Shiva says somebody in my kingdom has constructed such a big temple. And he even tells the village where that person stays, Pusalar stays. And he goes to the village and he asks, is there any person by name Pusalar? Yes, yeah, there is one person. I mean, did he construct any big temple? Then King say, I mean, everyone would say, oh, he's an insane person. He wanted to construct a temple. He's a poor guy. He simply talks some nonsense. How can he build a temple? Nothing like that. He never built any temple. So he goes, he'll find there is a hut there, and near the hut, there's a person who was in deep meditation. He finds that Brahmin that was Pusalar. And when he kind of goes in disguise. The king goes in disguise. Then he says, I mean, Pusalar comes out of his meditation. He says, what? And he says, I mean, are you the Pusalar who constructed the temple? He says, yeah. And where is the temple? Show me. That you cannot see. Okay, why? Why is it not so? I mean, why is it so that I cannot see? I mean, such a temple, Shiva has graced me. No one can see the temple except me and my Shiva only can see the temple. What? What did you do? Where did you construct? He says, I wanted to construct a temple. I asked and went ahead. No one kind of gave me any kind of support. That's why I went to a temple. I started meditating. In my mind itself, I invited best of the best sculptors. I arranged and I found the best of the best stones. And from years together, every day in my meditation, I'm constructing the temple. And the construction is complete, the temple is ready. And day after tomorrow is Kumbhabhishekam. Even in my meditation, I invited Shiva also to Kailash, and he said he would come. Suddenly, the king would fall in his feet for the devotion of Pusalar. And he says that I'm going to construct whatever that you wanted to construct within your spiritual heart that you have constructed. The same I want to construct. And that he constructs the temple that is there in Kanchipuram, Kailasanatha temple. So that is true for God, right? It was never existing. It was something existing only in the spiritual heart of a devotee. But it is true for God, where he denied even no attending a physical temple's ceremony also. He has, please don't feel otherwise. No, I'm going to a temple, which is the temple within the spiritual heart of a Lord. So that is also true for God. Such stories will be there part of Bhagavatam, which are much beyond our ken, much beyond our understanding. Because for God, everything is, it is all his kingdom, all his realm, whether it is our thought, it is his will. So above all, if you say it is his will that prevails, all other things is something which we have to surrender to. That's it. It is his will. Anything can happen. We have seen, our Swami's life itself, we have seen there are many things which he has done, we cannot understand till today. How he has done, he is defying all the laws, defying things. Many things we have witnessed. Can we explain physically, or can we explain using any theory or with our limited logic? Not at all possible. That is what is all Avatar is all about. Something much more. That's why Swami says, don't try to understand me. Just enjoy. That's it. Only way to understand me is just to surrender to me. No, in my again, it is my will again whether to give you that understanding or not. So in this, Bhagavan talks about all these stories of Manus, and again about the Pruthu who comes again down. These are various stories, no? Whether this has happened or not, we may question. All these doubts may arise. but that is secondary again. So he has made that Prithvi. That's how the name Earth has got Prithvi, because she became the daughter of Prithu, who has instilled all the fertility and instilled all the richness into the earth, because everything was hidden because of, again, one demon called Vena. So earth has hid all its medicinal powers, all its powers of fertility inside. So he has brought out that. So that's why he was called Prithu. So Bhagavan even talks about that story in this chapter. Finally, Swami says that Brahma, because this creation has to happen, there should be always a duality for the creation. There should be an attraction, there should be kind of procreation. For that, two powers are required: power of masculine and power of feminine. Both are required for the creation to thrive. That's why I created. Brahma himself divided into Manu and Shatarupa, and so that Shatarupa, divided into different forms and attracting the Manu, and that is how the procreation happened. That is why we are all descendants of Manu. That's why we are called Manushya. So that is why all these things happen. So with this, Swami ends this chapter by telling all these stories. The only thing, you have to understand is just have to surrender to him with all love, because there are many things which are beyond our ken to understand. Because our purview is very, very, very limited. The only way is the more we just keep listening, probably one day with his will, he can grant us the true wisdom where we can experience everything within us. So with this, I close my today's talk, and now can open it for discussion. Sai Ram. The silence can signify that nothing has been understood, or everything has been understood so clearly that we have attained that wisdom. So what should I think?
We are mesmerized. Let us come back to the earth, Suman.
Yes, sir. So you are transported to a different plane, a different realm for that matter.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, let me ask you one doubt, Suman, if you don't mind. See,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's very clear that don't try to analyze Swami. I mean, don't try to understand. You just surrender. It's a well understood concept. But you mentioned something about
Ah,
Ramayana happened in many
ah,
ages. You mentioned that.
right, right.
Can you
Yeah,
just
right.
elaborate on that? I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah. So suppose if you look at just how I explained you, there are four yugas we have, right? At least you are understanding that, no? The Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. You
Yes,
know that, right? We
yes,
have four.
yes, 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 yes.
Four yugas, if we have 71 cycles, will be there in one. If it completes 71 cycles, it is called one Manvantara.
Right,
So
right.
there is a cycle. After Kali Yuga, again Treta Yuga will start. So again Rama will come in that Treta Yuga.
Oh, got it.
You understood?
Yes,
So
now I got it.
many dialogues and many times Rama would have told something, and Bhagwan also was repeating, because he
Right,
knows, right?
right, right, right.
He
Got
knows
it, got
each
it.
and every yeah. So that's why things were differing, and students were not able to understand why Swami will tell one thing once and again one thing one. Both are true.
Correct.
Probably in one cycle he would have told this, and one cycle he would have
Right,
told that.
right,
Of course,
right,
the
right.
essence can be same. The dialogue delivery may be different.
Right,
So
wonderful. Right. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you.
A very blissful rendering as always, Suman.
Thank you, sir.
Engrossed and drowned in your narration. So sweet it was. Thank you, Sairam.
Any thoughts or questions, sir, or anything that we can discuss here? You always bring about some thought-provoking questions.
From the narrative, one thing appeals to my mind is if you are childlike innocent with open mind, you will perceive more of
Yes,
the divine rather than when you try to use your intellect.
absolutely.
Bhagavatam is different from the Puranas. Puranas at least have time milestones. When it comes to Bhagavatam, there are stories within, which you said very beautifully, that it is truth in the realm of God. He has no realms. And for us to understand that, coming from a person like Suka Muni and being rendered, yeah, it's got so much depth in it.
Yes, sir.
Oftentimes, it's our intellect which is a burden, it's a hurdle. And if we can, the same thing perhaps even in everyday life holds good. There
True,
is divine
true.
all over the place, and there is
Mm-hmm.
message all over the place, and we are so
Exactly.
conditioned towards material world that we cannot see
Mm.
or feel divinity. This is a
Yes,
message I
yes.
get from you. Thank you so much.
We are not able to discard that fiber to get the essence.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a really a very sweet example, that
Yeah.
even to get the nectar off. So you another aspect which is so very clear. There are plus and minus in everything. The creation itself is such, and just to
Yes.
extract the nectar of divinity, at times the bagasse will also be there.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful, sir. Sairam.
Any questions or thoughts? Ravishankar, sir, anything? Anything you'd like to add or
Sai Ram,
Beautiful.
very beautifully had brought out the essence of Bhagavatam. The first time I'm listening, excellent, especially the one that was stated before, that illustration of Bhagas and that sugarcane. It was very beautifully, like, no, we can understand the layman language, no, how
yeah,
you
Swami's
were
language
able
is
to
like
put
that.
it across. Yeah, it is like that, and you also made it a point to bring it out to us, because many of the discourses we may not even have heard of, and very beautifully, and the this thing sequentially you brought out the Bhagavatam essence in a very simple way. Really, thank you so much. Swami's blessings ever
Thank you,
with
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The Swami's, no, Swami has given and made it so simple. Just we have to repeat it. That's it. We need not even do anything.
Yeah, yeah, very true.
Parikshith had known that he will have only 7 days, and
Mm.
what was thought of to be a curse, he takes it as a boon.
Mm.
We have many cycles of 7 days, and we don't know when it ends.
Mm. Mm.
It's a reflection. Sometimes strength or an advantage is understood as the negative, weakness or curse. And actually, what you think is your strength is actually a burden. If we
Yes.
have the sense of urgency and hurry, perhaps we also will, by compulsion or otherwise, focus on divinity. is another message which comes loud and clear.
Yes,
Sai
sir.
Ram.
And to get that detachment, like immediately relinquishing thing and focusing on God, it is not that easy, right? If someone says that you only have 7 days, I myself would think what I'll be doing. What should I do about my bank balances? I'll think all other things, right? What should
Swami
I tell
made
my
this point,
children?
no?
Sairam,
In
sir?
this point, Suman, if I say
Ha.
Swami made our gave so much of great message in this Parikshith life. Basically, if you look into it,
Yeah, it
see
is.
it's not the 7 days. Of course, our spiritual concepts Saptaham came from that 7 days concept.
Exactly.
So, but actually, it is not the Saptaham. If you look into his life, even when he was around 5 to 7 years old boy, he became a king, and he don't have anybody other than Vyasa with him. The life starts from there. So Swami gives very clear, from your brahmacharyam be with your satsanga. And see, this is Bhagavata Purana, right? Not Bhagavanta Purana. Right. So when it goes how a Bhagavata has to do his journey, Swami makes like from the womb he has connected with the Paramatma. He is not able to come out of that mode. He is looking into everyone, and then he will run through, and so much of vairagya will happen while he is growing in the scene. Say Krishna will leave, Kunti will leave, all miserable conditions. At last, his ancestor, his parents, keep him on a throne, and then he'll just put him on there, and then they'll leave. That's it. It was a lot. From his only the cradle ceremony, happiness. There only the happiness. After that, whatever the yajna is completed, after that completely it's a miserable conditions where he is
Miserable
not
is how we look at it. He never looked it as miserable. That is what.
Precisely.
No, what I'm saying is these 7 days. So for him, it is a practice for him.
That is what we are saying. We have to make it a practice of listening to the stories, so that
This is
when
this is what Swami made.
we
that
get actual 7 days. When we actually get that 7 days, we also may get 1 day.
But that is the reason we wait for that Vahini Swādhyāya. We will wait for the Sunday Narayan Seva for 7 days.
That is exactly. We have to.
So the Saptaha, when it comes to so Swami made his life in such a way. So he made it. But again, Swami gave a message saying, though you are insane, though you are doing satsanga, though you are in continuously doing the grihasthasrama, as a king, you are able to see Krishna in everywhere, till you last in your emotion.
Exactly.
Right? And so at one point of time, just a triggering point where he has done, and then he has this was beautiful actually, the way how it came up, and then the 7 days when he came, and the moment the vairagya went. So Swami gives clarity.
Even
Bhakti
Vairagya
Jnana
also,
Vairagya.
suddenly Swami is like not showing the Vairagya is something you leave everything and go. He's not even telling that here.
100%.
Generally, suddenly Vairagya means people will already they lose this thing. Once you tell the word Vairagya, that is, I'm already lost there. Something like that. But Vairagya is not that. It is being aware of that it is not permanent and enjoy it. With awareness
With
that it is
jnana,
not
basically.
permanent. That is what. With awareness that it is not permanent. Yeah. Do your role. So we need not run away. All the duties that we are doing, we have to continue, but only with that awareness. That's it.
That awareness he brought these things. That is the reason Bhagavata Sara, which we to discuss about, see, every Purana has its own the syrup of Veda, and then they made a kind of a juice. But this juice has combination of bhakti, jnana. Swami has said as bhakti, jnana, vairagya, tapas and mukti. Bhagavatamo. Bhakti, jnana, vairagya, tapas and sadhana.
Tattva, right? Tattva and bhakti.
Tattva. So basically, you call it as sadhanas, and then sadhana, and then get the mukti. So it was a great journey, actually. You can read.
Yeah.
And one point, Suman, the one which we call it as Pruthu, the one which Swami mentioned this, and in fact it will come in the Bhagavatam only, particularly in the Uddhava Gita.
Okay.
The Pruthu is also called as the Mahat. When Swami told about 9, which is Prakriti, Purusha, Mahat, okay, and then you call it as Pancha Tanmatra. The other one I'm suddenly not getting. There are 9 concepts. Pancha Tanmatras, Prakriti, Purusha, Mahat, Ahankara, I think so. Okay. Not Ahankara. Mahat and one more thing. I'll let you know. That Mahat Swami told in the same format, in the Pruthu, which is just for an input point of view. Sorry. I'm just contemplating there when you're talking about Pruthu. It is so beautiful. Yes, sir.
Interesting conversation between two great proponents of the Vahinis. And what is a refresher to me hearing to Suman and Bhashyam is that Parikshith's life itself, the life movie of Parikshith, had a climax of 7 days, where although in the life he was prepared for all this, but still the 7 days he kind of relived all that and gave us the benefit of that. That's the thought that's coming to me.
Yes, sir.
After listening to two great proponents.
Second point is my first point. I'm saying yes. The first point is very much correct. Basically, to get the mukti, that 7 days has been kept, Swami. So to give about mukti related, so that 7 days Swami kept. The rest of all bhakti jnana, vairagya, tattva sadhana.
I also liked what Suman said, that after you say pack up, you can't go back again. You can't go back and say, you were my grandfather, where are you? So the director has got another role coming up for you. You better get ready for it. Sometimes there is a wait. Huh?
Yes, obviously. We cannot even claim anything, right? I mean, that once that makeup is removed, he's not actually, as long as he's in that costume.
Yeah. If we remember this, I think we'll sail through life much better. After all, it's a role. Why the hell am I baking my head? Kind of a thing.
Yes, there's a lot of issues we make out of nothing.
Yeah. I also got one more thought. When you say when we are so into the role, is it that you're playing the role well? I don't know.
Yeah, play the role well. I'm not telling not to play the role well, but have that awareness always.
Yeah. Right, just the role after all at the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is a role. At least have that awareness. Play the role well. Give you 100% to the role.
And whenever you never know when he says pack up. That's it.
Yeah, you never know, right? The director can tell pack up if he doesn't like acting. Definitely, he'll pack.
Thank you.
So
you made it very simple, Suman, and thank you for the concepts from Bhashyam. Thank you very much.
Suman,
Sridhar sir, you were
one,
telling something?
Ahankara, I consciousness. basically. It's not ahankara, I consciousness. Prakriti, Purusha, Mahat, I consciousness and Panchatanmatra. That's what. Sairam.
Okay.
Sairam, brother. I'll drop off, Suman. I need to go for another call with
Sure.
Vahini Sudhamrita. Sairam. Thank
Sure.
you. Thank you, sir. Sairam, everyone.
Thanks. Sridhar sir, you were telling something?
Parikshith, even in the womb of his mother, was vulnerable to be killed. Was thrown into this world too young to assume a throne. Was brought up to rule with righteousness and the value system imparted to him by the sages in the absence of his great grandparents. Having done all that well, somewhere he also loses his balance and did what he should not have done. And that is where why this happened to him question you raised and also answered. Every person born in this world comes with the baggage, and unburdening the baggage is also a process. And therefore, every one of the challenges which we face, don't ask why me, just face it, because the message underlying this adverse situations may be so deep and strong, it could even lead you to mukti. It's a very strong message.
Yes, sir.
Sairam.
Sairam. Any more thoughts or questions? Ravishankar sir, anything? Would you like to say? Anand? No more thoughts and questions. We can close session. Thank you very much for patient listening. So we close this session with Asatoma. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti 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 Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय
Jai.
Thank you all. Sai Ram and thank you.
Sairam. Thank you,
Sai
Suman.
Ram.
Thank you, Suman. Sai Ram.
Thank you, sir.